But we can be more than conquerors in the whole thing. There's no question about that at all. He says, I glory in tribulation, in necessities, in reproaches. Isn't that something? Let me say last thing. I like his word when he says, none of these things move me. Isn't that great? I've forgotten where he said that, but I know he said it. None of these things move me. Is poise. The presence of the living Christ gives him balance in everything. None of these things. What have they been saying? They've been telling him that before he gets far up the road, he's going to be arrested and he's going to be crucified. And he says, none of these things. Oh, mercy, we'd be on the phone to the pastor. Could he call a prayer council? I'm going to be persecuted. You know, I feel so shrunken. How do you feel at the sight of a man like this? Not because he has a magnificent intellect. Because of his relationship. Because he says there was a time when I was crucified with Christ. He went to the cross. That's not the problem. You can get people to the cross, it's getting them on the cross. Yes. And he says he revealed himself to me on the Damascus road. Later he revealed himself in me. People don't care a hill of beans whether you speak in tongues and heal the sick. If your life doesn't conform to the Bible, people say, well, you can't do this, you can't do that. I'll tell you, the man who knows what the standard of Christianity is better than anybody else, the man in the gutter, the man in the street, the man in the factory, has seen so much hypocrisy, so much emptiness, so much talk. But they know the genuine person when they see them, when the love of Christ is constraining them. This is the man who says you can do all things. Not some, he loves that little word all. All things without murmurings and without disputings. All things, however offensive, however against your taste. He never once says, I'm in prison because of the devil. He says, and he doesn't say I'm in prison because of Caesar. He says, I'm the prisoner of Jesus Christ. He didn't write Romans 8:28 as a kind of nice bit of poetry. He says, all things work together. I'm in this stinking prison. God's going to get glory out of this. There's no way of getting into the palace. But he got into the palace, if not in person. They said, we've never had a prisoner like this. And all the palace was talking about him. That's what he says in this first chapter. And then the fourth chapter again, he says there that there were saints in Caesar's household. Well, how did they get there? Paul was the one that went. And he rejoiced that he lost everything to gain everything. He says, you can't lose in this life. If I live, I gain because I have Christ in me. If I die, I gain. I win whichever way. I'm tossing up with a coin with two heads on it. You can't lose in this game. God doesn't reward us here. He rewards us hereafter. Well, I know some of you wonderful preacher fellows. You got it all fixed out. I haven't. I'm sure you'll be very happy to stand at the judgment seat right after Paul, wouldn't you? I've talked about his preaching. I've talked about his passion. What about his praying? I'm not concerned whether a man teaches 50 people on Sunday or 5,000. No man is greater than his prayer life. I don't care who he is.